You don't need it.
Of course, I need. See, there are those students who come and then they want to watch later.
Okay.
Mm.
Think I'll upload this later. Can share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Printing entire screen.
So
Can you
you
see,
share the
can you see
entire
my screen?
screen. Can I see it? No, it's loading. I can see VS Code.
You can see VS Code.
Mm.
Okay, so I think our agenda is pretty straightforward. How do we connect to MySQL? How do we execute queries? And
Mm-hmm.
probably maybe how do we execute queries and return results, something of that sort, isn't it?
Mm.
So what I'm going to do
You,
here, yeah.
uh-huh.
So what I'm going to use MySQL for the database,
Mm-hmm.
even though you can use
Zamp.
really, yeah, MySQL. You can, yeah, XAMPP installs MySQL. So I think I need to close these. These are too many. Actually, let me close
You're
all of
using,
this.
are you using Zamp or you're using Workbench?
No, I'm using XAMPP, but the MySQL interface I'm using is called SQL Yog.
SQL Yoga, I know.
Yes, so it is just a UI, but MySQL is running inside XAMPP.
Mm-hmm.
So it's coming with these things again, and I wanted to close all of them so that we start from a clean slate.
So you just open a new one.
That's what I've done.
Mm.
A new close. So now, yeah, so we have XAMPP here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new database here. What do we store? Let's say we want to store student details, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a database over here called students.
Mm-hmm.
Then this
Mm-hmm.
database will have student details. And for the student details, I just have very few fields like student ID,
Mm-hmm.
admission number,
Mm-hmm.
first name, admission number, first name, and last name. Last name like that, eh? So I'll give this one maybe course, eh? The course that they are taking, eh? So that will be integer. It will be the primary key. It will be auto increment. That will be variable character 50. Variable character 50. Variable character 50. This one will be integer. So I'll save that. I'll create another table called courses.
Mm-hmm.
So these courses will have course ID and course name. Just as simple as that, eh? That's integer so that we can create relationships. Then this one will be variable character 100. And then I'll add foreign keys. This course ID. No, it's not going to be here. I'll save it. Then I'll come back here. I'll come to foreign keys. Then I'll take this course ID relates to these courses, course ID like that. As simple as that. Just a simple relationship. So that is my database. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new MySQL project over here. So I will come and say open folder.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll go to C XAMPP htdocs where that's my web root, and I'll say here students like that. So my code is going to be inside here. So what I'm going to do, there are two ways you can connect MySQL to your. There are multiple ways, but I'm going to show you two. Two I think is just enough. One is using MySQLi. The other one is using PDO. Of course, PDO is the most preferred because PDO now allows you to connect to any other database, whether ni Postgres, ni SQL Server, ni MongoDB. It doesn't matter so long as you put the drivers correctly. It will be able to work. MySQLi is specifically designed for MySQL, but the good thing is that it is already optimized for MySQL, so that makes it a very, very powerful tool to use. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a new file, and I will call it db.php, like that. Okay, so I will say here, let's connect first of all using connect using MySQLi. So let's connect using MySQLi. So to connect using MySQLi, I'll need about 4 variables, I think. Yeah, I think I need 4 variables. First of all, I need the host, which is there, where the server is located. Now, for PHP, of course, you have to start with the PHP like this.
The tag.
Yeah, the tag. So I'll need a variable called host. I'm using localhost. Otherwise, if I wanted to access different hosts, I'll put the URL there. Then I also need the username for the database.
That's a semicolon.
Yeah, that's a semicolon. Root, it's smaller. Can I make it bigger?
Yes. Yeah.
That's better. So I also need the username, which is root. I also need password. Currently, I'm not using any password inside this server, but of course, if you're using a password, you'll put the password there. Then I also need the name of the database. So in this case, we have called it students. So these are the variables that I need in order to be able to connect to MySQL. So what I would do, I'll create a variable called connection over here. Then this connection, I'll just say it's a new instance of MySQLi. MySQL with intelligence. Now MySQL with intelligence needs the 4 parameters. The first one is the host, followed by the username, followed by the password, and database password. Password followed by DB name. So that's what I need. Then after that, it will attempt to connect, of course, because I've told it create a new instance of MySQLi using these variables: localhost, root, blank password, database students. So it will try to connect and see if it opens. Now the only thing I need to check if it was able to open it successfully. So what I can say here is if connection is equal connection if connection, then I'll call this method called connection error. Connection error, should find it here. Connection underscore error. If I don't know why the intelligence is not picking it. So if connection.connect error exists, so that means if this object exists inside.
That is not dot.
No, it's not dot. It is dash and greater than sign. Yes, that's how object-oriented PHP works. They don't use dot. They use this instead. So if that were the case, I'll just kill the application, but then I'll also display the error. Say connection failed. Connection failed. Then I'll give you now the error message that was shown, which in this case will be connection dot connection. Why is it not popping up? It should pop up. Connection error. This should be no. What am I writing, Elizabeth? Am I drunk or something?
I'm wondering.
It should be that. Of course, if that does not happen, it means the connection was successful. So I can just echo down here and simply say echo connection successful. Something like that. So this is just to make sure that you've connected to the database and you are able to now you are now able to do every other thing after the connection has been made, because what's usually very important is for you to actually make the connection. So what you
Then
can,
that nini for the connection, does it have a semicolon at the end?
yes, anything in PHP must have a semicolon, otherwise it's going to be a syntax error. Every line in PHP must have a semicolon. Otherwise it's going to be a syntax error.
Okay.
Yes. Now why is this one opening? Shinachukua mtoto. Mpatie yogurt. So if you want to test it, you can test it with Postman. Actually, you can just call this page directly inside the browser. But that's a very bad idea in terms of testing. I like using Postman.
So lazima ukuwe umeinstall Postman.
It's a nice way of testing. But let's just test it inside the browser. We'll say localhost. We're going to go inside the students folder. Then we're going to call the file. It is db.php. So we press enter. It is saying undefined property connection error. Connection is successful. Connection error, connection error, connection error, MySQL connection error. Am I misspelling it? Let's just go back to the code. It should be that. Though I hardly use this one. Let me just check. MySQLi connection error.
So the one you use is which one?
Yes.
Which one do you usually use?
Connect. It's actually a function. Connect error. I use PDO, but I wanted to show you both so that you know it's connect error, not connection. Connect error. It's connect error, not connection error. I use PD, I don't use... so you can see the connection is okay. But if I was to put anything that is wrong, like maybe say I put a password and it does not have a password, it should fail and tell me why it has failed. So you can see access denied for user root using password. So that this is actually the error message that comes. So I'm trying to use a password that is actually not the correct password. So this is the easiest way to connect to my SQL using my SQLi. Iko sawa?
Iko sawa.
Maybe unless you want us to execute something with it.
Yes, we want to.
You want us to, using this connection, you want us to insert a student inside the database.
Or even like a login form.
Okay. So what we can do, let's insert, because I don't have login, I have only details of student and course. Let's create a course. Let's create courses and insert the courses here.
Okay. So we have a course name.
Yes, we have a course name. So we're just going to put some 3 courses. Then it's going to update the 3 courses for us. Insert them rather. Okay. So I can create a function here called create course. It only has 2 variables. One variable is the connection. The other variable is the SQL statement. And maybe I can give parameters. And these parameters can be blank or they can be... Okay, create course. Create course must have parameters which are not blank.
See, we have the name and the ID.
The ID is auto-generated, so we only need the name. So here what we can do is we can say SQL statement equals insert into this table called courses. Then I'll have here course name. Then I'll put values.
So it's just a normal SQL.
Yeah, right now I'm using normal SQL, but of course this is a very bad idea. That's why we're saying, when you're teaching students, you teach them what is easy, what they can do. Then now you can use a stored procedure, which now is how you should do it in practice. So values here, I can put a question mark. Then I'll just bind the question. I'll just bind it down here. So what I could do is just to bind the value so that now I execute it. So what I can come here, I can say SQL would be huyu nitamwongelesha baadaye. Let me text her from the phone. Tell her I'm in a meeting. I'll call her back. In a meeting, calling you back. So you can see it's very easy. So what I'm going to do here is I'll simply say my record set. Record set is what comes after I execute a query. Would be I'll take the connection. Then actually I don't even need that. I just need the connection is one. It's up there. I don't need to pass it. So ndio nime instantiate up and by the time it's successful, then I can call this function. So I'll say my connection here is I'll take this connection, then I will prepare it. Prepare is this, prepare like that. Then I'll put my SQL statement here. Or you can type it directly. I like using a variable. It's much easier. It's much easier for me to refer back and forth. Then the only thing I'll need to do is I'll simply say this record set. Then I'll say bind parameter, bind param. Then I'll say this parameter is a string, and I want to bind it to cost name. This variable called param. Actually, let me just call it cost name because it's just one. Cost name.
Hata afadhali uwape nini, they use the real names.
Yes, one cost name. I need the SQL statement to execute. Actually, I don't even need the I only need the cost name because the SQL statement I'm generating it from here. So here I'm only inserting the cost name, which is this. So that's what this bind parameter would do. So when I say bind param cost name like that, then the next thing I'll simply do is I'll simply say record set execute. Then I'll put the SQL. No, it doesn't need a variable. I usually execute based on a string that I generate. So that's basically. So after that, I might return data or not, but because this is insert, I can simply say echo JSON. I can say I like using variables, so I'll say response equals. Then it's an array. Status equals success, and the message. Then I'll put this is an associative array. Course saved successfully, like that. Okay, then of course I'll simply say echo JSON encode response. Encode this response in JSON because nataka output kwa browser somewhere outside so that somebody can consume it as an API. Okay? So this function here will just create a cost. So it means that I need to give it a cost name. Then it will insert the cost name inside my database. So what I can do here, I can simply say if, because now I need to listen to the browser and know what the user is doing. So if a user posts the data, then I can pick the variables and I can store them inside my database. So I'll simply say here if is set post. So if somebody is posting data and they've said save course, if somebody saves course, I'll say here course name is equals post course name, like that. So it means I'll grab the course from the user interface. Okay, then I will call this function create course with the course name. Like that. So this part will only execute when somebody says post. This other part here, automatically when this page loads, it will. I need to remove this one to be down here.
So that's a comment.
Yeah, that's it, but it was commenting it as HTML. So I wanted it to comment it as PHP. So line number 1 should be that. Yeah, it should be like that. So far so good. This is clear. So we test it and see if it works. So now for this one, I'll need to use Postman because Postman is the only way I can post data without a user interface. So I will open Postman.
So we can create a small one.
You want to create a small user interface? But that will make the video very, very long.
No.
Okay.
Page too.
Register course. But I wanted to show you how you can actually do it without creating a user interface, because ideally that's how you write the backend.
But you know, watoto wako na ka page, wako na 2 pages.
All right, so register course.php. I'll simply say register course. I'll put label here for course name. Then I'll put course name. I'll not format it, so I'll just use it for. Then I'll put an input type text for course name. So course name. Then I'll put a button here for save course. Okay, I call save course, but I can put type as submit. Though I don't like using that because
what you do na save course?
Save course will be the ID, but it will be of type submit. Sorry, input. But actually, let me just use submit with an ID of submit. You know, the problem with submit is that I will need to. Okay. Anyway, so what for submit, I'll need to create as a form here with a method of post, and it posts to db.php. db.php, but this will not work. This would not work. Okay, the way I want it to work, this is going to require so much validation. Let me see how to get around it. Let me see how to get around it. Okay, I can put a button here. Button save course. So save course. I'll have a div here of errors. So errors are going to show here. Then I'll integrate JavaScript down here, because I didn't want to use PHP directly. It's not very advisable. I can use PHP without JavaScript, so I just create this as a form, then I submit the form. Okay. By the way, you could actually do that to make it easier. Let me just do that so that it's not complicated. So form, the action is db .php. Then this one is going to be submit. So that's going to be submit. Then of course now inside here I'll need to, okay, yeah, I'll output that data back, so that should allow me to save the course. Now this one I can't use this, I just save it directly. This should have been course, so I won't use this. I just say course name is the course that has been provided for, then I'll save the course. Of course it's going to output the message on the browser showing whether the course has been saved or not. So what we can do here, we can come to here and say this is courses. Is it courses or save course?
The page name.
Register course.php. So it is register course.php. So that should have that. Okay, that should have been a button. Why is it not looking like a button?
You called it submit.
Oh, and then, but submit should be okay.
No, you need to have the tag at the beginning.
Yeah, the tag is just tab in the submit.
Now here button.
E should be value. That's why I don't like using this. I like using it as a button so that I can style it the way I want and everything else.
So then you use it as a button.
Submit, just submit.
It has disappeared.
Form submit. Actually should be submit, value submit. Submit is here. Submit should be input type submit. Okay. I missed the tag. Input type submit, value equals save course. Okay, I think mine should be okay.
Yours saves automatically.
Yeah? Yeah, mine saves automatically. Mine, what I done is I've come here and I said autosave. So it automatically saves and as you're typing the course. So maybe you might want to validate if somebody puts a blank course, or we don't need to validate that. We just go, anyway, let's do the validation. Anyway, okay, since it's just trying to save data from the database, let's just, because that's our agenda anyway, not the US, so let's just save it without validation. So I can come here and simply say diploma in IT. I hit save and define array key course name, db.php line number 26. Number 26, course name. Course name is there, get course name. Why is it saying it's not seeing it?
Did you pass anything? It was a question mark.
Course name is here. Course name is here. Yes, of course, it is here. I have bound it here. Here. When you bind, this side you need, or alternatively, instead of binding, but that's the best way to do it. If you're going to pass variables inside your SQL, you need to prepare it and bind those parameters so that you don't have SQL injection. But you can easily pass the variables inside here if you wanted to, but this is the best practice. Let me see number 26, post course name. Oh, so this one I've not changed the method. The issue is I didn't change the method of this. The method of this form. The method should be post. so that I have course name, I have course name, I have course name. Yeah. So I think that was the issue. Okay, sorry, refresh this. Diploma in IT, save. So the variable connection on line number 18, okay. So line number 18, this connection, but I have the connection up here. It's con. Yeah, that should work because it's a global variable here, and I try to connect to it, which when it is successful, it will tell me connection successful, which I don't need, or I can put it inside here. I can put it inside there, okay?
So ama the scope.
The scope, but since it was outside, I don't know why the scope was getting. Oh, you know, the issue is by the time this function is created and this one is executed, probably there's more like it was outside scope. So let me just try that again. Back, refresh. Diploma in IT, save. Now it's not seeing these other ones.
So it was not seeing all of them.
So it's not going to see. That's why I like using PDO and use them as an object so that I can scope my variables properly. But nonetheless, let me just. I think that should now work. Refresh. Diploma in IT. Save. Bind parameter. It should be that. Bind parameter.
And define the method.
Yeah, so it's not. Is this bind param? Is it lowercase or uppercase? MySQLi bind param. Is it lowercase or uppercase? It's case sensitive sometimes. You see, it's bind underscore param.
What?
Bind underscore param. I don't use this all the time, so you will excuse me for the syntax.
Ulionyesha students nini?
Yeah.
Wale watu unawaonyeshanga na?
So now you can see it has saved successfully. No, I usually you see when I'm preparing a course, I'll write it down, then I'll explain what I've written down. I know the syntax, but now you can see diploma in IT is there. I know the syntax, but sometimes I miss out on the wording, how the wording is arranged.
The syntax.
You see, like this name, I know it's bind param, but I was assuming the JavaScript syntax where it is camel case. In PHP, case, it is underscore. As you can see, most of the functions are underscore.
Yeah.
So I can add another course. I'll simply say here, this is diploma in CT. Save. It's successful, and when I come here, it should actually be able to show. Yes. So this is how we use MySQLi. Okay?
Yes.
As I said, I don't like using MySQLi because then it means that if you want to change your database, it means you have to change exactly how your functions would work, which is a very, very big job. Sometimes you just want to change something very small, you switch your database and everything works as advertised. Bila kufanya hii kazi yote ya kubind hizi parameters na all this kind of stuff.
But see nini, at least. So for every nini wametengeneza, every Ama hizo form zao wametengeneza zikuwe PHP forms?
No, I like using JavaScript to send data to PHP. So this will act more like an API. It will behave like an API.
But you know wow, sijui kama zao ni .html ama ni
You know, if it is .html, it means that it's not going to execute at the server. So you're in the shida. But of course, if you do it as .html, then you have to use something that will now connect you to the server, execute, and give you back the results. So you work with it as an API. Okay? And by the way, hapa, you can even give this thing a name, something like a course name. Then here, instead of saying string, just say course name. It would work. We try, eh?
With students, you want to you want to show them the easiest.
Hizo zingine atajipanga mbele mbele.
No, si unawaambia there are two ways. Sasa
you have an error course name. Yeah, that should be okay. That should be okay. Why is it complaining? Okay. This one, if I'm using select, it would work. I think insert up and data fanya kazi. On select, it would work. Let me just use a string here.
Just use a question mark.
Yeah, just use a question mark and a string. By the way, if you have two values, you simply separate them with commas. And then here, if there are two strings, you put two strings. Then maybe you can say course level. Something like that. If you have multiple, so string number 1, string number 2. Then this one represents the placeholders for the strings. Kama kuna more than moja, because sometimes when you have variables, you might have more than one. So let me try that again. See if I've broken it. Go back, save. It's successful, and it should be able to show inside here. Yes. So this is pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward,
Yeah.
So any statement you want to use, you can use insert, you can use update, you can use delete. The meaning is practically the same. Okay. So use video.
You can see that one.
So I'll keep it. So I'll simply say here, new file. Let me call it dbpdo. Sorry. dbpdo. This is what I like using. .php. So again, by the way, okay, for this one, I'll list for you the courses that we have just put in, which you can still create a function here to do that anyway. You can create a function here to return those courses. So you could simply say here, SQL equals select all fields from courses, order by course name. Then you will just prepare the statement and execute it. So you don't bind any parameters. I don't have any parameters on that statement. So I'll just execute it. Then I'll simply say echo JSON encode RST record set. RST stands for record set. So after I insert, I give you a list of all the courses that are existing inside my database. Okay. Or even if something like that. So what I'm going to do, let me just go back, create a course. Let me call it BTech City, Bachelor of technology CT. Save. It has saved successfully. Did I return? Why is this part not executed? This part should have executed. This is okay. This part should have executed. Yeah, that part should have executed. Oh, okay. That part should have executed. Anyways, how is my logic flowing? Let me see. That part should have executed.
Am I gonna duplicate?
I've not checked for duplicate, so you should be able to accept. I've not checked for duplicate. It's giving me status only, which means that it's only giving me status. Oh, I've only echoed the status. I echoed the status, which is that logical error.
But in the database, it has saved.
Yeah, the database definitely it must have saved. So you can try it here. You can see they are there. So let's do CNA. Save. It's giving me blank. Why is it giving me blank?
You need to echo.
They're not causes, they are course details. Are they causes or course details? Courses. Order by course name. Yeah, this statement is okay. Why is it giving me blank? This statement is okay. Why is it giving me blank? Let me execute it directly. New with new query should be here. Yeah, why is it giving me blank? SQL.
Execute.
And it is executing.
But it doesn't display anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
How should it display?
Or I should say fetch. It should give me a list. It should give me a list.
So the insert worked. Now select is refusing to work.
No, I should actually, when you say execute, it will execute, then it will give you a record set, then you need to say fetch. So that's why I'm telling you, I use PDO. I don't use MySQLi most of the time. I use PDO, but the methods are more or less the same. Let's try that again. I think that should work out. Fetch. Okay. MySQLi fetch. Probably syntax. Fetch all. Should be.
Fetch all.
Actually, I should have said query, then fetch all. Instead of saying execute, I should have used query, then fetch all. So, count dot query, then fetch all. I hope it's capital L. Yes.
Then no, it's small L.
Oh, it's fetch. Now that's the problem. Fetch. Then you convert it on associative array. Now that's where now we have big problems with the. No, this should be. It's not execute. It's query, then fetch all.
See, instead ya kuzi delete uzi comment.
These ones, but we don't need it. I think this one is, yeah, that should be okay. So connection query the SQL statement, then fetch all as an associative array, then and call that one as a JSON object, then we display that on the browser. Yeah, I think that should be able to work now. You can see the way the syntax is. So you can see now it has given me a list of all those courses as a JSON object. Yes. So now I can just do a for loop of this using JavaScript, now display them inside a drop-down list or a table or however I want to display them. So it's more like, this is more like what an API would return for you. So prepare is for posting data when you have parameters. Query is when you just want to run a query. It will give you the results back as an object, then fetch all data from an object as an associative array, which I think this should be the default. Then I can just encode it as a JSON object and output it back to the requesting agent. Okay?
Okay.
Hapo tuko sawa, eh?
Hapo iko sawa.
Sinaona si kazi rahisi. I need to remove these blank spaces. They're not helping us anymore. Yeah, like that, eh? So that's pretty straightforward. Now let's use PDO. So for PDO, I'll need about, I think there are 6 more parameters because I'll add 2 more variables besides the ones that I had. I can have the character set. Then I also need to have, I think it's basically character set from what we had. So what you can do here, I can simply say the host is localhost, username, fungani mlango, is root, fungani mlango, password.
Lion ilipatikana?
Lion sijui hata kama ilipatikana, hatujaisikia. Password is blank, db name is students, character set is UTF-8 MB4. This one takes all characters. Is there anything else I've left? I think that's okay. So then what I will do here after that is I'll simply create a new connection, just similar to the other one, and I'll call it new. But this time I'm going to use PDO. PDO is already installed as part of MySQL XAMPP when you're installing it. Then now here you're going to have some 3 parameters. 1 is the DSN, then 2 is the username, and 3 is the password. So the DSN, first of all, you have the driver to use. The driver that I want to use in this particular case is MySQL. Okay? So MySQL, I'll tell it, this MySQL will have a host, and this host I will put yes, localhost. I'll put localhost, then I'll put semicolon. Then after the host, I'll also need to be able to tell it what is the name of the database I want to use. So the second variable here will be dbname. dbname will be equals to dbname. Then semicolon. Then the third variable would be
nini hiyo host haitwi localhost, inaitwa host.
Host, okay.
Your variable.
Yes. So I have MySQL, the host is that, the dbname is that, then I have username and password. Where was I? I'm supposed to put the UTF. I'm supposed to put the character set. I'm supposed to put the character. Yeah, I'm supposed to put the character set after dbname here. Car set. Yeah, I think it's car set. I don't have these things off my head. I write them once. Yeah, it's car set. Character set is equals to car set. Yeah, so MySQL host. Okay, let me just MySQL host. So I have the host, I have the DB name, and I have the character set. So of course, then username and password. So usually I like defining it like this. So DSN is this statement. So you see PDO, then I take these and put them here, then username and password. Only that here now, instead of using this as a variable, I've just output the data directly. But that should still be able to work. Okay. So once I'm done, once that has been done, the only thing I need to do is to say, now this connection that I've created, I want to check if there are any errors. So what I'll do is I'll say set attributes, set attribute. Yes, like that. The attributes I'm going to set are two. One of the attributes I want to set is the error mode, and of course the other one will be the error code. Okay, so I'll simply say here PDO, the namespace PDO, then I'll be able to pick attribute. Then the name of the attribute that I want to set here is going to be error mode, armored, like that. Then I'll set the other attribute, PDO namespace, to semicolon for namespace in PHP. Then I'll simply say armored, and this error mode will be error mode exception. I hope that is the correct spelling. As I've said, I don't attribute error mode exception. Yeah, so that's the correct spelling. So that will just tell you the errors that have occurred, if any, and then from there you can be able to read those error messages. So the only other thing you'll be doing here is everything is okay, I'll simply say echo connection successful. Otherwise, if there was something else, which means I should put a try catch here. So try this. Then if that is not the case, then catch. This should be a PDO object. And I'm going to get the actually this is PDO exception, not the object. Should be capital E, I think. Should be capital E, PDO exception as E. Then here I'll simply say echo connection failed, and the reason why it failed. So dot, I can simply say E get message. Get message is the method that will tell me okay, how did I write that connection? I'm supposed to have a semicolon here. Yeah, so this should allow me to be able to connect, and then after that I'm able to after I have connected, if I don't connect successfully, then you should be able to set these attributes, the errors, which are exceptions. Then from those errors as an exception, and I hope it is that exception, let me just check. It is PDO exception without an underscore. After that exception, I'm supposed to be able to get the message from that exception that has been thrown to us in case there was any error. So this is the best way to do it. As you can see, now from here, I can be able to change to any database that I want. So whether it's MySQL, it is SQL Server, it is MongoDB, it is Postgres, I just change the driver here and these parameters, and everything else works like a charm. I don't need to change anything else inside my code. That's why PDO is very, very powerful, and that's why we recommend to use it in any project that you want to have. MySQLi is easier, but it's only based on MariaDB and MySQL. So if you have to change the database something else, then that's not
PDO in full means what?
PHP database object.
Oh.
Yes. And I hope I'm right. Let me just confirm that. Last time we checked, that was it. It should be PHP database object. Yes, PHP data objects. Yes. Sawa.
Can even do Oracle.
You can even do Oracle, you can do MySQL, you can do SQL Server, you can do Postgres, and even FoxPro if you have it. So the only thing you're going to do is you're going to, if you come to connection strings, there's this website called connectionstrings.com. Here, you'll be able to connect to any database using PDO, and they're going to tell you how to do it. Any database, you can see all of them are here. So that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. So you can see DSN is your DSN username password. If you're going to use file DSN, like that. So if you're using Microsoft, they'll tell you. So you can go on and on and on and on. So it's the cream de la cream when it comes to connectivity. So let's try it and see if it is working. So this is dbpdo.php. So I'll need to close this. I don't need it. I'll need to close these ones also. We don't need them. So then we just come here. We call localhost students. Then we have dbpdo students / dbpdo.php. I hope that's how we have called it. dbpdo.php. Yeah, that's what we called it. Then we run it. Okay. Localhost students dbpdo pdo. So you can see connection is successful. So if something was amiss, like maybe say I missed the name of the database, like that, it should still be able to give me the error. So you can see it gives me an error, unknown students 1, unknown database student 1. So it's actually working very, very well in terms of how to connect. So you've seen the difference. Ni kidogo sana, eh? But Nini is minimal. But the good thing with this one, as I've said, this one is now minimal. If you change your database, you only change here, and everything else in your application works.
So you only change the
connection string, the data source name. So actually, yes, I can put it here as the DSN so that it stands out. I can put it here so that it stands out. Then here, I just put the DSN. So that way, yes, data source name. So that way, if anything changes, I only change the data source name from here.
So say you're using a Microsoft SQL Server. So the host will change the DB. Actually, the DB name and the nini sinizo ziko hapo juu.
Yes, what will change? You see, for SQL Server, the name will change because then if I open Management Studio, the server name will be given something completely different. It's not going to be localhost. It's going to be a specific address.
Yes, inakuanga kapa.
Yes.
Hii yako ni gani? Ile Express?
No, Easy Express in Professional. So you see, this is the name of the server. This one. So it's not going to be localhost, it's going to be that. But it's not very straightforward because one thing I need to do is I need to install drivers that connects to it.
Oh.
So SQL Server is not straightforward. So usually what you do is SQL Server PHP drivers. So you'll need to install the drivers. Then you enable them inside the php.ini. Then now you can be able to connect to it. So for SQL Server, it's usually not very straightforward, but you can actually do it. But again, you see, installing drivers and pointing them to PHP and all that has got nothing to do with the DSN. The DSN will only ask you, it's SQL Server, the host, the database name, username, and password. As simple as that. So that's the beauty of it. So okay, I
So
can.
hapa kuna MySQL is
Mhm.
the main database.
Yes, MySQL is main. MySQL and MariaDB, by the way, they are using the same drivers.
Mhm.
Because inside here, I'm not using MySQL, I'm using MariaDB. But you can see when I say MySQL, it's still working.
But pia hata Postgres hiyo si
Yes,
inatumiwanga pia
Postgres is
MySQL.
enabled. Postgres is enabled. SQLite is enabled by default. Ile yenye
Mm.
iko enable ni Oracle, SQL Server, Sybase. Hizo zenye si open source haziko enabled by default.
Mm.
And you see they're proprietary, so you also have to install their drivers and tell PHP where to find their drivers.
Mhm.
Okay?
Okay.
So this is now okay. Now for, I think this is okay. I can catch this. Did I need to? I echoed,
Please
but I could
try
have.
and catch
I should
blocks.
have died here. Instead of echoing here, I should have died. Die means stop executing the script.
Mhm.
So even though echo is working, but die is the best. Die is the best statement to use so that it kills the connect. It kills the script in all. It does not execute further.
Mhm.
So now we can try and insert using PDO, right?
So it's the same code kama ile ingine.
Ni same code kama ile ingine, but the only thing would be how you fetch.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, but it's more or less the same thing. That one I think is usually fetch all, because I use, actually these things I write them as a function so that I don't need to do them over and over again.
So you just reuse.
I just reuse the function. So instead of saying SQL statement, I pull over the SQL statement as a variable. Then I simply say get data, then I put the SQL statement and it fetches the data for me. But again, these are students, as you've said, let's make the work easy first of all. Let's make them understand how it works. Then the rest we can be able to pick up from there. How's you? So instead of echoing this, let's also just insert data inside the database using PDO. So to insert data, I'll simply use my record set would be, I'll pick this connection that has been established. Then this connection, I'll simply tell it to prepare. And I'm preparing the SQL statement. So here I can have my SQL statement equals insert into courses. Then I have the course name like that. So that's how we use it. Then values, we put, no, this should be course name. Then value here would be question mark, like that. So that's our statement. So I'm going to prepare this statement down here. After I prepare the statement, I need to bind the parameters. So again, I'll simply say my record set bind, sorry, the other way around. Record set bind param, and the parameter I'm binding here is going to be again, it can be a string, and in this case I'm putting course name, like that. Then once I'm done, of course, I'll simply execute. So record set is the same as the other one, execute. Then once you execute, you can now output your results. So I could simply say here, echo JSON, okay, response is equals to an array of objects. Status is successful. Status is successful. Success and the message is course saved successfully from video, something like that. Okay, then I simply say echo JSON encode. I'm doing this because I'm expecting that they'll be returning the data as a JSON object. Now they can manipulate it with JavaScript on the front. That is my assumption.
Yes, they should be able to.
Yes. So I'll output that response like that. But now I need to get the course. So for the course name, I'll simply say here course name is equals post course name. I've just assumed that you're going to execute this file directly, and then you send over the course name. I'm going to save the course name, then I'm going to output for you whether it was successful or not. It's as simple as that. So again, so here I can say instead of that should be DB PDO. Nothing else changes. I've just changed the path from now using normal MySQLi to now using PDO. But generally, I'm just pushing the course name and I should add it. Then I'll come back. Where is the course is here? So I'll refresh and I'll simply say here BTech CT PDO. Then I'll save. Call to undefined method bind param. PDO bind param is how? Now this exercise in the challenges, eh? PDO bind param. Unaona ni bind param.
Hiyo haina underscore.
Now these are usually the biggest problems you have with something like PHP, eh? Bind param. Actually, it's how I had written it before. This is how I had written it, eh? So go back, save. Invalid parameter number was defined. Why? I think that's okay.
Was not defined.
It's a question mark. Okay. Number. What we can do here is I can give them a name. I can give it a name here, like course name.
So here you take a string.
Course name, sorry. Course name. Back, copy, refresh, paste, save. So you can see it as saved. So when I come here, I should find it. It's there. So this one you can name them nicely like this with commas. So you just
there are several fields.
Yes.
Na hapo juu courses also inserted to course.
But
you also have your columns there.
Yeah, you put your columns to separate hapo kama ni columns mingi una separate na comma, just like a regular insert statement.
But hapo kwa values, before every value lazima ukue
uanze na hii full column. Yes.
Okay.
That is a mouthful. Lakini iko sawa, si ndio? Si unaona si ngumu sana. So you can start them off with that just to show them how it gets around, how to get around it. Then now, if they want to now do it nicely, we can now use stored procedures.
How tuseme unataka kusearch, like sasa ume create Tuseme sasa kama unataka kulogin.
So we create a login form.
Tuseme unataka kulogin na ume create data. Tuseme hata ako ka form kanini. Ako ka form tu ka course. To assume the course name is the password.
Okay.
Na tuweke kama hazina space.
What we can do, can we just create a separate login form, then we implement that?
Okay.
I think that will be much easier. Sindio?
Sawa.
So what I can do here is I can come here and create a new file, and I call it login.php. I'll have here login form. So I'll have a form here with a method of post. Action will be login. Login form. What do I call it? Action? Let me just say db login.php. Sindia. So here I'll have label for username, and then input of type text, username. Your name is username. Then I'll put a break here. Then I'll put another label for password. And here I'll put an input of type password. And ID will also be password, and the name will also be password. Then I'll put
how
another
do you
break.
make the password hidden?
Yeah?
How do you make the password hidden?
Input type password. When the type is password, it will be hidden. When the type is text, it will be displayed. Yes.
Okay.
Then button, actually, okay. Now you can see where my authority becomes a problem, because I don't use forms to publish data. But so this is going to be input of type submit, and the value will be login. Okay. So then this one will push the data to dblogin.php, dblogin.php, like that. So here,
How did you push the data? You did what? Did you have any connections?
So far I don't have any connection, but for me, what I do, I don't use forms to push data to the server. I use an API callback, because I want to validate this form before it goes to the server. So I want to validate the username is there, the password is there, things like that. If the username is not there, I tell you the username is not there. If the password is not there, I tell you the password is not there. But you see, this one as it is, it's going to push it to the server first of all. The server executes it, then gives you back the feedback, which is what most students do, and it's where you start. Then, of course, now you can learn how to now not do that, even though that works. Yes. So db login is here. So you are pushing PHP. So what I will do?
So hakuna connection. You just added a new page.
I've added a new page because I want to create a new login page with new logic. You see, the connection is here, the action. It connects to this file. So when I click on submit, it's going to call this file. Yes.
Okay.
So when it calls this file, that's why I'm now publishing the logic.
Okay.
So what I'll do, I'll use PDO, this one here. I'll need the username and the password. Okay, now that's a problem. So I'll say username will be post username. Then user password user password will be post password, because those are the names that we're using. Okay, so here my SQL statement would be select all fields from users where username is equals to username and
iko sensitive, eh?
No, it's not. I just want to nini so that now I'm able to see what's happening. Password equals to password, like that.
Where are they?
Yeah, because password is a reserved word inside PHP. Eh? Yes, but you see, it knows that this is a query, so password is a nini, but it won't matter because this is a field name. So even though it's highlighted, it won't be a big deal. Okay, so here I'll have username would be username. Then I'll also now bind
the
password. Equals to user's password. This is user username. This is user password. Eh? These variables, because nilikuwa nimetumia username na password here for the database. Mpaka hapo tuko sawa? So
lakini ya juu haiko hivyo. Where username is equals to username.
No, this username is this variable. This username is this variable here. So this user password is this variable here, which I'm picking from the user interface. Okay. Then this one, instead of even after you execute, we can now come back and say fetch. Fetch. Yes, so that is fetch, and then of course we can fetch it as a PDO associative array, which is the default anyway. So you can say here PDO fetch associative array, which is the default. So whether you leave it or you put it, this would be the default. Okay. Now, actually, what I needed to do, before doing that, I would have just needed to check if there was any data that was returned. So I would have just said if if RST row count, which means there were some rows that were returned, then do this.
But we don't have any data.
Yeah, if you don't have any data, it's going to tell you invalid username or password. That's why I'm putting that row count. So if no data is returned, I'll simply say echo JSON. Actually, let me just say response. Response equals to status failed message invalid username or password. Because then if either username or password is wrong, then no data is going to be returned. Otherwise, the response would be RST fetch that. So it will give me that data associative array. So when I'm done, I'll simply say JSON encode response. I don't need this. So I'll just encode the response, whatever it is. It's either it has failed or it has given me a list of username and actually this one, let me just display. I'll need to display the name. So RST So response would be that. Then response would be status, success, first name, then I'll simply say here response, first name, something like that. Yes, so I'll just tell you it's successful and the first name of the person is just to show you that it has been successful. Sasawa. So we create a table here called users. So we have user ID, which is integer, first username, which is variable character, 50, password, which is variable character 50. Then now we have first name.
So that username, where is it auto increment?
No, auto increment is going to be user ID, not username.
Oh.
Username can be an email address, it can be the ID number, it can be the PIN number, it can be anything. But user ID is now the one that we are incrementing, and the one that we're even using for relationships. Varchar, this one you can use 100. Then we just add two users here. So we have Richard, and the password is Akelo, and first name is Akelo Rich. Username first name is Akelo Rich. Then you have here Elizabeth, Muli, Imuli, something like that. Then now we can test to see if it is actually logging in successfully. So this will be login.php. So I have username and password. So if I say type here wrong username, wrong password, login. Line number 22 has an issue. Let's see. Line number 22, I didn't put a semicolon. Kuna ingine nimemiss. Kuna ingine hapa. Nafikiri ni hizo tu.
Very serious.
So course name, that is DB login line number 7. I don't have course name. Yes, I don't have course name. Username na password. The problem of copying and pasting. So attempt to read property first name on Boolean. So this should not be like that. It should be actually a square bracket, because I've converted it into an associative array like that. Small mistakes. Access. What? This is first name. Echo JSON and code. Okay. Response. Let me see what it's bringing back. By the way, that thing should not have a row count. Row count should be blank, so this should be what is executing instead. That is strange. That is strange. That is strange. Echo RST row count. It is 0, it is false. So if it is, if row count, I did it the opposite. I did it opposite.
Where have you put it at the end?
Because row count, if row count returns true, that's when I execute this. If it returns false, then I need this. If row count is greater than 0. That's what I was supposed to do. So if row count is greater than 0, then rows existed. Then do this. Otherwise, if row did not exist, then tell the person invalid username or password. Okay. So go back, execute. So you can see failed, invalid username or password. So I can put the second one, which is Elizabeth and Molly. Elizabeth and Molly should give me Imuli. So you can see it gives me Imuli, which means it's successful. Are we together?
Yes.
So that's how you create your login. So now si hata code mrefu.
Si mrefu.
The only thing you need to know is how to write the SQL statement, by the way, yeah? And how to bind those parameters. By the way, the rest is almost to the letter.
SQL I know.
Yes. So
but now the syntax for here.
No, the syntax is only the variables. The syntax is only the variable names.
But you see, to be honest, you see here, kuna kusave na kuna kuread.
Yes. Yes. So even when you execute, you can still fetch after you've executed and you convert it into an associative array. You still end up with data instead of saying query. So you can execute instead of query. But when you execute, you have to go back and fetch. When you query, it will fetch for you automatically. Yes, that's the difference.
Okay. As your nini said.
Has my?
Your video.
Yes, my video is still recording. Since everybody in record 1 hour 27 minutes.
Oh. Okay.
you are doubtful.
No, I'm not doubtful.
No, it is fine. And the good thing you see, it's very straightforward. So maybe next time now what we can do, we can now show you how to use stored procedures. Yes.
Na pia to delete.
Yeah, actually hizo zingine zote zina fall up and up ndani SQL query. Delete from users where username is equals to this. So then you execute, you bind the parameters, it will execute and delete. Then now you can give the user the response that you want.
Malady, is username ziko username. Those are variables.
Yes, so anything that has a full colon before it is a variable. And this is how you bind them. Yes.
You use na ukidefine hizo variable lazima ukuwe na underscore.
Ukidefine?
Si underscore $sign.
Variable lazima ikuwe na $sign. Variable must have $sign. Kwa PHP variable must start with a $sign.
Okay.
Yes.
Sasa nimepata klasi ya pande.
Sasa ni kujipanga. So you see now that is good.
Alafu tuseme wakitaka more things nitawaambia kuna nini wata join nini nitawauliza when they are available tupange online session.
Okay. Yeah, ina shida, but then tunaweza tukapanga. Then I show them now, since you have shown them how to do this, they know how to do it, how to do it the hard way. I'll show them how now to use proper functions to achieve the same results. without applying so much effort. Yes. Function moja, I just pass the query and it does it for me. So I don't need to rewrite them over and over again. Yes.
Hiyo ni sawa.
Sinaona sasa mambo ni mzuri.
Sasa nataka ni create tu form wangu.
Yes. You practice with them. The only thing I'll advise you when you're dealing with dates, the MySQL, the data format has to be very specific.
What is the specific
data format should be year, month, then day. So, for example, when is today? 27. So 2026, 02, 27. Yes.
So how do you make your calendar? You need the dates like that. How are you format?
I just format. What I usually me wanatumia library jQuery inaitwa jQuery date picker. Then I format the date something like this. Or you can actually take a date and you convert it. So, for example, if I wanted to display today's date, so I can say something like echo date. That one will give me the current date. But if I give it a format like D, M, Y, it will give me something like 27th Feb, not 2, 2026. Yes. But ukitaka hizi variables za date, you just look into this. It will give you all the formats that you can be able to use. You can see. So that is a very, very problematic element in PHP and MySQL. Kwanza format, ukimiss format, itakuchanganya mbaya sana.
Kuisha wewe.
Kuisha. By the way, kitu ilinisumbua.
Wewe ilikusumbua?
Data ilinisumbua sana. So you see, even in my code, what I did is I've written a function that converts date automatically. So ukikuja hapa kwa DB,
hii ni system ya wapi?
Hii ni system ya Allpack. Ukikuja hapa kwa DB, sinaona niko na function ya convert date.
Hiyo ndogo hiyo.
Hii. I pick the date that you have, then I convert it to now the date that MySQL wants, year, month, day.
Return date format.
And if you want to do date and time, I also have a function for doing date and time because those two are very, very nuisance.
Kwani umezidelete?
Hizo ni comments, hizo za kitambo. I don't need them anymore. I was using them to check, to test.
Okay.
So unaona date lazima uiconvert ikuwe hii ndio MySQL ichukue.
Sasa mama alikuwa anasema ati industry wanatumia Oracle. Ni ukweli?
No, or in which industry, because it depends on so many industries. Most of the guys I know, if you're going to use MySQL, it's very, very easy. Haina license na iko ready integrate na PHP vizuri. But Oracle, you see, is very expensive, unless you can be able to afford the license, and even SMEs can't afford Oracle, because let me show you how much it costs. A very simple database.
He was kulikuwa meeting ya moderation ya exam. Then she was like, SQL is very basic. You should be using Oracle.
Huyo ni mtajui kitu anasema.
Akaulizwa.
Unaona cost ya license moja ni pesa ngapi?
Per processor.
Yes. Per processor. Kama mashine yako iko na processor 8, you multiply that by 8. You think that is cheap? Unajua ni kama 6 million,
Ndio, server moja.
Si server, processor moja. Kama server iko na
6 million. Haya. Kama iko na 8, hiyo ni 46 million.
So you see, that's why when somebody says that the industry watu wanatumia hii, that person has not been to the industry. Clearly.
Ilikuwa kwa moderation. She was like, unajua watu walimwangalia hata hawakuongea.
Kuna statement zingine ukisema Elizabeth, you must have be having facts in the background before you speak, eh?
You know, she talks like, alafu katakuruka kanaitwa Maingi. Kamekuwa kakivuza database all along, eh? Then she looked at him like, alafu unajua kale kakicheko but he didn't say anything.
No, by the way, unajua mtu akisema kitu kama hiyo, kama if you know what is going on, unanyamaza, unasema wacha tu ninyamaze niseme kitu. Juu sasa mtu akiongea, by the way, Oracle is so damn expensive.
She's like now you see huyo mwenye hiyo exam. I think she was talking, unajua sasa wanaongea mambo ya CBC nini. Then kwa hiyo meeting kuna ile mambo wanasema assessment tools. And then pia you choose what to use nini. Then akaanza kusema to me, MySQL is very basic. I think people should focus on Oracle. MySQL is used to teach introduction.
Elizabeth,
Maingi alimwangalia like,
let me tell you database market share. MySQL is top because hiyo inatumika ndani ya cPanel, na cPanel iko na PHP na MySQL internally. By vendor. So MySQL na MariaDB should top the list. Yes.
Wanasema ni Oracle.
Oracle ni inaitwaje, kama ni how do you call it, enterprise, eh? MySQL should be the largest with PHP. Sababu, what is happening, anybody who is using cPanel anatumia MySQL. So unaona?
Hao wengine wanatumia?
No, 90% wanatumia MySQL alafu Postgres, followed by Postgres, alafu ndio Oracle. So you see that percentage and this percentage.
Huo Maingi alimwangalia like, but then hakusema kitu.
Unajua, sometimes you need to know where you are speaking from. Otherwise, ukienda kwa penye watu unajua kitu unasema, atakuangalia washinde, huyu anajua kitu anasema ama ana assume ama alisikia Oracle. Unajua anaweza kuwa alisikia Oracle, so assumption yake ni hiyo ndio the most popular.
Ama yeye ni member wa Oracle Academy.
Yes, so
anafunzanga students na hizo resources za Oracle Academy.
So now unaona sasa ana cost ya licensing.
But what about on the ground kwa industry, who can afford that Oracle?
Very very few. Mimi nakwambia hata Broadcom hatumii Oracle. Alipewa license ya Oracle akaachana nayo. Hatujaweka system, tumeweka database peke yake. 6 million database peke yake, na hiyo ni processor moja.
Na ujue hiyo ni paia.
Si unaona sasa unless you go to Safaricom or KPLC or things like that.
Or even government.
Yes. Kama government, yes.
Unaona sasa hiyo 6 million, unajua hiyo ni nyumba 3 bedroom. Crystal Rivers.
That's how you are reasoning.
Unasikia? Hiyo 6 million ni apartment ya 3 bedroom kule Crystal Rivers.
Habari ndio, lakini hivyo. Anyway, mwaka mmoja tu umeshanunua apartment na umemaliza biashara.
Na hiyo wanasema rent ni 40-45 per month.
So unaona, so at least by the end of the month by the end of the year utakuwa mpata 500,000.
Si unaona? The return is not that bad. Na by the way, hizo nyumba bana ziko cheap.
Are they cheap really? 6 million is not cheap.
6.5 na ni 3 bedroom.
Na si unaona Gateway is much cheaper than that. It's around 4 million.
Gateway gani?
Gateway phase 6.
But unaweza compare Crystal Rivers na Gateway.
Sasa unajua ukichukua nyumba, the only thing you're doing, unajua Gateway iko organized vizuri, so the only thing utanini ni kufanya tu finishing zako, upgrade finishing zako, which is not going to cost you 500,000.
Gateway itamalizwa
phase 6 bado. In fact, I think you can even talk to them where yako waweke tu, wafanye tu civil works na waweke madirisha, wasifanye finishing. Ukuje jifanyie, the price will go low, will go down. So that wasiweke alafu kuja bomoe.
So unataka kujaribu huko?
Tunaweza enda tujaribu, sinaweza enda tuone tujaribu.
By the way, hata hiyo Crystal River, those houses should not be, range yake inafaa ikuwe huko ma 8. The way zilikuwa unless useme watu hawazija kuchukua. Hiyo Gateway iko hapo Taform.
Iko hapo nyuma ya Taform, hapo nyuma ya Taform.
Ni Gateway ama ni Great Wall? Great
Wall, not Gateway, sorry. Great at Gateway, Great Wall.
Niambia it's very crowded. Is it true?
But hizo apartments zao ni nyingi. Unajua nyumba karibu zote ni apartments. Machines ni kidogo sana. But unaona wako na shule, wako na barabara, wako na mall.
Na what is
the police station,
What is the size?
Si kuna 2 bedroom na 3 bedroom.
3 ndio?
4.5.
3? Oh. Haya, basi hiyo ni si mingi. No, nimekuwa nasikia ni ndogo.
Bana, phase 6 ni kubwa sana.
Umeziona?
Sasa nilikuwa huko the other week, kuna beshangu anakaa huko. Lakini anaishi phase 5.
Oh. Na ziko aje exactly? Ziko mzuri?
See Elizabeth, what you do, you go and see.
4.7 to why 5.2?
Sina depend type of finish.
Oh. Kila unit, kila bedroom ni en suite.
That's what I'm telling you. Unajua kuna vitu zingine unafaa uende ujione wewe mwenyewe. Physically.
Tuende lini?
Wewe unasemanga tu tuende alafu nikwambia tuende lini, sasa unaingiza baridi.
No, mimi ni available. Tuende lini?
Wewe uniambie unataka tuende lini?
Kwa hivyo wewe ulikuwa huko ukaona?
Si kuna bishango anaishi huko.
Na unajua hapo na expressway si mbaya sana.
Na hata hapo, hata matatu zinafika mpaka hapo kwa gate.
Really?
100 mpaka town.
Sasa 100 na unakaa kwako. Sasa sisi huko tunalipa 80 bob. 80 bob na red. Yeah?
Ni 100 mpaka town by the way. Na zinapandiwa hapo hii penye tunapanda hizi matatu za kwenda Machakos. What is going on here? Kasea amesemaje?
Kwa sehemu gani? Kwani wewe uko Uasu?
Hapana, mimi siko Uasu.
Kwani huyu anaongea wapi?
Huyo ni group nyingine ya nini inaitwaje? Ako kwa group nyingine ya nini ya not inaitwaje ya CDF huko majani ya nini ya Machakos. Ndio amepost hiyo.
Na advertise mpaka huko.
Imagine.
Okay. By the way, we can go see.
Wewe amua. Mimi by the way najaribu kuchanua lakini nyinyi mnakuanga na mambo mingi sana.
Mimi unajua Albana tunamalizana next week. Sasa hiyo tumalize. Hiyo title tutangoja. Mimi sina 80,000 saa ya kuprocess title.
Si alisema hiyo cost iko mpaka iko inclusive of title ama?
Yeah, ziko but they are under their name, so okay. You have to transfer to US.
To transfer to US. Okay.
Mpaka unajua mtu anakutransferia cheaper. Si basi utu nini?
So now Great Wall rent ni 32,000.
Mm.
Lakini 1 ni tudogo, hizo 6 ni kubwa. Anyway, let me stop this recording.